Hello, welcome to the enchanted kingdom of Hermione. We're up here in the Third of Pleasure. Late stormy Saturday night. I'm your host, Zip Gun. I'm the Lord Chamberlain of the Enchanted Kingdom, and really right about now I should be on my way up to Nanaimo to play a show, but one of our band members got really sick, went to the hospital, still wanted to play, but we thought maybe not such a good idea. So instead, I'm sitting here listening to CDs and found a thread that I thought I could share. That's good. Haven't had a lot of talk about, so I haven't been on doing videos lately. Saving some things up for further research, but recently a bunch of my old friends and I went out to see a friend of ours play at the local jazz club, a place called Herman's here in Victoria, which is a real pretty typical jazz club. And my buddy Paul Pigat played. And Paul Pigat, for guitar enthusiasts, they might well know who he is. Needless to say, he's a fabulous guitar player. Good enough in the sort of chops department, if there's a competitive kind of nature of guitarists, that he has been a spokesperson and demonstrator for Gretsch guitars for a while, and he has a whole lot of musical projects. I met him when he lived in Victoria here years ago through the good offices of Miss Carolyn Mark, who everybody meets everybody else through in this town in Victoria. Anyway, we got to be chums, and he quickly showed everybody what a fabulous, tasteful guitar player he was, and went through all kinds of different projects and things. And I started recording him when he started putting some of these projects together. And I got a couple I was going to show you. And one of them was a band called the Smoking Jackets. Now, the Smoking Jackets are now not this band at all. I think it's sort of his Western swing jazz outfit. And who played on this? Paul Pigat, Mike Broadley, Bill Stewart, Clinton Ryder, right. This was the band we ostensibly went to see recently. It was my old friend Al Pease on reeds, and Joey Smith on bass, and Damien, Paul's long-running drummer, on drums. Damien, come on, name doesn't come to me. Oh well, sorry. I can't. Anyways, this record is I'm very proud of this record because, first of all, it's a really good record. Paul was still quite young. What year was this? This is a while ago. 1998. Holy smoke, 24 years ago. And this band absolutely rocked. They came in and did this record in 2 afternoon sessions. Off the floor. It sounds fantastic. I don't know if it's on YouTube or not. Maybe I'll put some on if it isn't. One original on it. She's Coming Back by Mr. Pigat. The rest are great, great covers. Divorce Me COD is so great. Aaron Boy with Rhythm. Take the A Train. Boogie Real Low. Oh, actually, this doesn't have... I got that wrong. Divorce Me COD is on this one. Now, this is his rockabilly group. Cousin Harley was originally Pete Turland and Steve Taylor. Now it's Damien, and it escapes me. Anyway, I did 2 of these. These I think we both did at my place. Yes. This one I do believe is Jukin, right? And this one was the last one we recorded at the old Sea of Shit Studios in Colwood, BC. Rest in peace, SOS. We did a lot of good work there. These records, to me anyway, to my ear, are fabulous. They sound fabulous. The playing is on it. Jesse Cahill plays drums on this one. And, like millions of great, well-thought covers. If you are a guitar aficionado, you simply have to check Paul Pigat out because he's really good. He's a super nice guy, old friend. And recently we went to see him, like I say, and whenever he recorded with me, he used I got a 1955 Fender Tremolux, beat to crap. The cat used it as a scratching post. Paul always loved this amp. And as I'm getting on and I'm not using so many amps, I find I don't ever use it. So I thought, well, I should sell it to him. So I did. I gave him what I hoped was a really cheap price on it. And I made a date to go see him. And it just so happened I had to drive all the way to the ferry to deliver it to him, which was fine. I drive an Abarth 500. You buy a car like that to drive it out to the ferry and back and listen to great music on the way to and from. So I went and dropped it off, and we had a great chat, and we parted, and I decided to take the sort of long way back, have a nice drive in my car, and in doing so, I came across a thrift store that I really thought, this one's easy. It's on the way. I'll just stop for 1 second. And it's funny how things work. Paul and I are friends largely through our interest in the guitar and our love of music. Paul's a very informed musician, and we have lots of cool exchanges about music. And I go into this thrift store, and it's almost like there was this little genie with me. Because look at what I came up with here. Okay, number one, these aren't really in the order I found them, but number one, we got George Benson, the Silver Collection. Now, the Silver Collection was a series of CDs right in the real dawn of the CD age. And Verve would do things like put the best cuts from a couple of records on one CD. It says over 60 minutes of music. Well, that's great. Playing time, 61:55. Well, they could have put 73 minutes on and probably put both records on. Why they didn't, I don't know. At any rate, this is essentially two of his records. I can't remember what they're called. And it's classic George Benson. He's a great player. There's some appalling arrangements. There's a version of the Windmills of Your Mind on this that's just unbelievable. But there's great songs like Groovin'. Billy Cobham's on it. Herbie Hancock's on it. That was great. I was really glad to find that because that stuff's hard to find. Moving right along, and we'll get this out of the way real quick. The record that basically turned the world on to Scott Joplin. Just before the movie The Sting, this record came out on None Such, Joshua Rifkin. I would love to know how many copies of this they sold, because I'll bet they sold boatloads. A really great record. Rifkin's a great pianist. Done with an eye towards classicism, maybe, but not annoyingly so fabulous. Okay, and I got that on LP somewhere. Then I found one of these, the Jazz in Paris series. Now, Universal, MRC, Universal, I believe, France, put this series of Jazz in Paris CDs out of all kinds of stuff. And every time, I used to find them in London drugs for $2. And they're good. And this, of course, Django Reinhardt opens with two amazing takes of Jeepers Creepers and just gets better and better. Yeah, you can't really go wrong with Django. I can get sick of them. And there's a lot of Django imitators that I don't know how necessary they all are. Anyway, that was nice to find. Here's one. I haven't played this yet, but Stanley Turrentine on Music Masters, which is an interesting label. They have a jazz end. Cedar Walton, Ron Carter, Billy Higgins, Freddie Hubbard. You think this is a good record? I'm willing to bet it's a great record. Then we got, now this is where it really gets cool. I have never heard of Johnny Smith. Now, I consider myself fairly well-rounded guy when it comes to guitar. This name does not ring a bell. Maybe it's because it's just a very ordinary name. The cover of this is amazing. This apparently was one of the largest jazz instrumental hits ever. And Johnny Smith is a legendary jazz guitarist, apparently. These are both on Roulette Jazz, which anything on Roulette Jazz on the CDs, I'll buy it in the thrift store because it's usually pretty good stuff. This features there's one, the title song, Moonlight Over Vermont, is with Stan Getz. Oh dear. There might be an airspace violation. Raven or something. Anyway, Stan Getz is on about half of this. It's 1951, a little bit rough, but the playing on this. There's a song on this called Jaguar. Look it up on YouTube. There it is. The thing will burn all your guitars. There was another one, The Sound of the Johnny Smith Guitar, which is, I think, a combination of two albums. Now, Johnny Smith was funny. He was a session guy. Didn't just play jazz. But I'll tell you what, this guy is the jazz player. His tone, I can't believe his tone. Now, here's a cool thing for you vinyl snobs to take into consideration. You will notice, I don't know if this is going to come up, but you might see the scratch in this CD. Now, that scratch has gone completely through everything. I can see light through this scratch when I hold it up to the light. It does not make any difference to how this CD plays, which I bought it just to see. I thought, okay, that's not going to play. No sounds on a million-year-old 25-changer CD player. Digital saved my ass. Thank you, Digital. Finally, and these I haven't listened to yet, and I'm awaiting enough time to really digest them. But there were three, not one, not two, but three Johnny Adams CDs. Now, Johnny Adams is what do they call him again? The Tan Canary. New Orleans soul guy. Kind of had a bit of a rebirth on Rounder. This is on Rounder. This is on Rounder. Some of these are apparently better than others. This one is his early stuff, and apparently it's chock-a-block, really good. 5 stars, blah, blah, blah. I'm anxious to hear this because I don't really know very much about Johnny Adams. I'm pretty sure I might have a few of his songs on compilations and stuff. But again, Johnny Adams, one of those names that doesn't stick in your brain. Johnny Smith, Johnny Adams. This is the kind of stuff for anything approaching a reasonable price. I'll buy it just because, why wouldn't I? And so, yeah, there you go. So a visit with an old friend, guitar friend, leads to a serendipitous trip to a thrift store in Brightwood Bay, of all places, where I find Johnny Smith, George Benson, and Django Reinhardt, amongst other wonderful things. So there you go. Anyways, that's it for this time. Thanks for watching. I'll get around to some of my backlog here. There's been stuff, but some of it's better than others. Don't forget to hit subscribe. I'll keep trying to make some more of these. Not be so lazy. And thanks for watching. And we'll take care of each other, and we'll see you soon.